Congressman Adam Kinzinger is on the House Foreign Affairs Committee. He joins us now. Congressman, thanks for being here this morning. Was this a good move on the part of the administration?
This was a huge move, and based on the previous story, this idea, and I learned it in military training, your country will never leave you behind, in many cases extends to even civilians, and makes us very different than a lot of other nations. A pastor has been basically held on trumped-up terrorism charges as a bargaining chip for Erdogan to get back a cleric that he thinks is behind the failed coup against him. And look, Erdogan himself said that democracy is like a streetcar. You ride it until the stop you want to get off. He's gotten off the democracy stop, and he's holding an American basically hostage. President Trump did absolutely the right thing here, and they also basically laid out the fact that there could be follow-on sanctions, which I believe could almost follow the Russian model. And I'll tell you, with the Turkey lira in a tailspin and the economy struggling, that would be a massive blow to the Turkish economy. So it would definitely be wise for Mr. Erdogan to release his pastor.
Well, Erdogan has fired right back. Turkey's response: there is no doubt that the decision, which disrespectfully intervenes with our judicial system, stands in contrast to the essence of our relations and will seriously damage the constructive efforts made in order to resolve problems between the two countries. What does this do to already hurt U.S.-Turkey relations, Congressman?
Well, I think what it does is put us back in the driver's seat with the relationship with Turkey. I mean, they're a NATO ally almost in name only. They're very important. It's a very important nation in a very important location. But the maneuvers we've been seeing by Turkey over the last few years, their deteriorating relationship with Israel, the fact that they're trying to buy the Russian missile defense system and the F-35, which, by the way, Congress and the administration will never allow those two things to be together. They are in a very bad place, and the United States has to show some, I don't know if tough love, tough affection, or whatever to Turkey, but saying you're not going to walk on the alliance and us anymore, and you're not going to abuse American citizens. Release this pastor. He was just there doing his thing, and he is being held as a bargaining chip, and we will not stand for that.
Well, we'll see if Erdogan backs down and returns this pastor back to the United States. We'll see where that goes. Meanwhile, the remains of 55 U.S. servicemen returned. I'm sure you watched the ceremony last night. The vice president giving credit to that summit the president had in Singapore with Kim Jong-un, saying this is a result of that. What does this say about progress we are making with North Korea, Congressman?
It's hard to tell. I think, look, it was definitely a gesture of goodwill by Chairman Kim. It's a good beginning sign, but there is a lot of work to do. We've got to see a nuclear disarm North Korea for as long as we can ever see, for infinity. They have to be willing to give this up. These are good steps. We should celebrate these steps, especially the return of American soldiers, because, again, we leave nobody behind. But when this is all over, we're going to be able to look back at whatever time that was and judge whether these were successful or whether these were failures. I hope they're successful, because the only thing that comes after this is either accepting a nuclear North Korea or military action, neither of which is good.
It was a beautiful moment last night to see those remains coming home draped with the American flag. I know it's very personal to you as a member of the military and veteran. Thank you very much, sir, for coming on the program.
You bet.